The city of Viana do Castelo has a commanding presence at the mouth of the Lima River. And you've got a beautiful view of it here on the Mount de Santa Luzia with an amazing, gorgeous basilica at the top of it. But I'm not here to see this 20th century church, although it is gorgeous. I'm here because this spot has been important to human beings for over 2,000 years. And right behind this basilica is an Iron Age Hillfort. Let's explore. The Citânia, or fortified settlement of Santa Luzia, is in the far northwest of Portugal, in the Minho region. It's just outside the city of Viana do Castelo, on the mount or hill of Santa Luzia. The walled settlement covers the top of the hill, behind the hotel or posada and the church. There are a few signs directing you to the Citânia, but when you turn away from the amazing views, the only thing indicating an entrance is the empty gray facade of the Welcome Center. The huge sliding door has the name on it, but you have to look hard. After you pay your €2 admission, you're free to wander the grounds. There are no information boards on the grounds, but helpful guides are available in several languages at the Welcome Center. Entering the site, its nature becomes clear. This is a fortified settlement, a kind of proto-city on a hilltop, made up of many stone houses surrounded by defensive walls. This is one of many such settlements in the area, and Santa Luzia is one of the largest and better known examples. Here in the north of Portugal, there are many hill forts dating back from the Iron Age. They're called castros from the Castro culture of the Iron Age here. This is called a citânia. And a citânia is similar to a castro. It's a fortified hill fort, but on a much bigger scale. This is no simple hill fort. This is a city that was built in the Iron Age in the last millennium BC, between 1000 and a few hundred BC, where these structures behind me, and that you can walk around and see, are the foundations of houses that people lived in. Many of them are circular. Some of them are more elliptical. There are rectangular ones. Chances are they had many different purposes. And we'll know some of the information about this, but not everything. Some of these citânias, and some of the castros, were reused by the Romans. And so they have a longer history than a few thousand. Others are left here as a testament to the Iron Age civilizations of Portugal that were rich and thriving here before the Romans arrived. The Citânia was known since at least the 17th century, and various archaeological excavations through the 19th and 20th centuries exposed the foundations of scores of houses, as well as sections of the protective walls. Recently, metal and wooden walkways have been installed to allow visitors to see the site from various perspectives. Please do use the walkways. It may make your visit slightly less adventurous, but it protects this national monument from damage. Now, some people have commented and said, with this hat, I'm trying to be another Indiana Jones. I'd love to have Harrison Ford's good looks and his millions. But honestly, I'm not trying to pretend to be anything here. I wear a hat like this for a very simple reason. I don't want to be Indiana Jones. I'm just trying not to be sunburned scalp Iglar.
As you explore what was an enormous early city, it can be difficult to picture what the settlement would have looked like originally and what life would have been like for the people living there. To help visualize these ancient stones as a vibrant city, it's well worth visiting Viana de Castelo's archaeological museum, the Casa dos Nichos, in the heart of the old town. Admission there is free, and there's a small but excellent display explaining life in the area from the Stone Age to the Roman period. There are artifacts found in Santa Luzia and other citânias and castros, and models and illustrations to give life to the ancient world. You can see that the Iron Age circular huts would have been thatched stone houses with a partially enclosed and covered veranda or atrium. Life went on in and around the houses where hundreds of people would engage in daily activities, such as grinding grain into flour or spinning wool into yarn to then weave into clothing. Most houses were grouped in communal or family clusters, with walls and roads between them. Other houses have different shapes, elliptical or rectangular. This is evidence of the long occupation of this settlement, which was in use throughout the many centuries before the Roman invasion, but also afterwards. The indigenous Castro culture was co-opted and modified into more Romanized urban settlements, or oppida. The fortifications also may have been adapted during Roman times, but the fortified nature of the settlement certainly dates back to the pre-Roman Iron Age. Defense would have been key for this site, with stronger walls facing the more gently sloping approaches and multiple rings of walls. The central area of the Citânia also reveals an interesting aspect to the construction. There are many with a distinctive spiral or helix construction technique, with stones carefully shaped to fit closely together. This seems to be a type of masonry that is called cyclopean or polygonal. This technique seems to have originated in Greece and possibly had its final use here on the Iberian Peninsula.
You can see that this Citânia or settlement would have been enormous in its day. In fact, it would have been even much bigger than what we see today because of the development of the Posada, or the hotel here, that has taken over much of the land that the Citânia would have covered. This Citânia would have extended all the way to the tip of the mountain so that it could see out to the mouth of the Lima River and out to the ocean. These were an ocean-going people. They had contacts all around Europe. And again, this was a civilization here in Portugal before the Romans invaded. The Romans came over, they found these kinds of cities or citânias all over, especially in the north, but throughout the area that's now Portugal.
It's estimated that only a third of the total area has been excavated. Some sections of the Citânia were destroyed by the construction of the hotel, as well as the church and the access roads, while there may still be more buried in the land underneath the trees. But a visit to the Citânia de Santa Luzia reveals an impressive glimpse into the rich and vibrant Iron Age culture that lasted hundreds, if not thousands of years, both before the Roman invasion and well into the occupation. This site is an important example of ancient indigenous Portuguese culture and heritage.
I hope you've enjoyed this visit to the Citânia de Santa Luzia. As always, please like and subscribe. I'm going to be visiting more Castros and Citânias and other prehistoric sites all around the country. Leave a comment down below. I'd love to hear your thoughts about this or any other prehistoric site. And as always, there's more information on my website, prehistoricportugal.com. Thanks for watching.